First off, Blair, you claimed I misquoted you. Misquoted you as saying that I didn't want the black-white IQ gap to close.
No, I didn't. Why didn't you pull the soundbite where I supposedly said this instead of pulling the one that you pulled? I know why, because I didn't say that. You're a liar. Now, I did say that he does not want the black-white IQ gap to close, and I stand by that. But what he's saying is that I accused him of misquoting me when I said that, and I didn't. I said that quote, but I did not accuse him of misquoting me on that one issue.
Here's what I base my quoting on.
Absolutely nothing. Again, he needs to produce the quote where I accused him of misquoting me when I said that. What he's really saying is, I don't want it to close.
Now, I don't really see how that quote is open to misinterpretation. It seems pretty clear to me. I don't know, maybe I missed some context, maybe you're being sarcastic, but I don't think so. So you definitely can't claim I misquoted you.
That's because I didn't claim that. He's pulling this out of his ass as usual. Now, brace yourself, we're about to get into some real bullshit and some real strawmanning coming up.
Now, I said black people are stupid on average, and I was stating that as if it was a fact, when really it was my opinion. It is my opinion that committing violent acts, having fatherless children, and all sorts of other stuff is stupid. That's my opinion. If you think those things aren't stupid, then we could be in disagreement. I apologize for equating those behaviors with stupidity as if it was a fact, when really it's just my opinion that violent crime, fatherless children, dropping out of high school are all stupid things. I apologize. Perhaps you don't think those are stupid things.
This guy must really think that he's fooling somebody. He was not talking about crime when he called black people stupid. He was talking about IQ and only IQ. He is Mr. Race and IQ, as he called himself in his video to Buddha Gym. Do not let him fool you with this thing that he was talking about crime too. He was not talking about crime. See, Stodles knows it's assholish to call somebody stupid for something they can't control, so he has to go and pretend like he was talking about something that they can control, such as crime. All he did was a bait and switch and then appeal to the emotions. This is also evident from the comment he made about my grandchildren. Okay, the average black person is not a criminal, so when he talked about regression to the mean, he was talking about IQ and not criminal activity. This is just Stodles attempting to backpedal off of calling black people stupid. Instead of sticking with the IQ thing, he's trying to bring crime into it because he knows most people would consider criminals' behavior to be something stupid and whatever else he brought up. Again, if he was talking about crime, then he should have assumed that my children would not be stupid because most black people are not criminals. So he wasn't talking about crime, he's just lying. Now, let's talk about illegitimacy for a second. Now, people misunderstand what this really means. All it means is that mommy and daddy were not married when you were born. It does not mean you don't have a father in your life. Illegitimacy statistics don't take into account the fact that a lot of people have the baby first and then get married. And it also doesn't take into account that a lot of people have their mother's boyfriend or husband or an uncle, a grandfather, or a big brother who act as their father. Also, for anyone who's interested, if we look at the time that black illegitimacy started to spike, that's a very interesting time in history. What happened around about that time? Be interesting to find out.
Now, you like to say, oh, it's not a fact. It's not a fact that Zimbabwe will be poorer per capita than Germany in 30 years.
Typical straw man / lie. I've never said anything of the sort. This is just retardation. That's what this is. He cannot stick with my actual quotes. He has to make up shit and then debunk it. Well, debunk away, buddy. Now, here's the point I'm actually trying to make, and let's see if he actually addresses this. Germany could get the fuck bombed out of it for some unforeseen reason that we cannot see today, and they may cease to exist or become very, very poor. Zimbabwe could get a leader that actually cares about the people, and it could start to rise out of its poverty at the same time that Germany gets bombed. Again, not likely, but we don't know. Now, we can talk about trends and what will happen if, certain trends continue, but this is not what we're talking about. Stodles predicted that my grandchildren will be stupid, okay? And he predicted that the IQ gap will not close. He didn't say likely, he said it will not close. That's what I'm talking about. So he can try and play word games all he wants. I said it's not likely. No, he said it would not.
Oh, it's not a fact that 2 white parents will have a white child.
That would be true, you dumbass. I mean, unless you're going to play some word game, that one's true.
There's another thing. It's not a fact that when you fire an artillery shell at a piece of tissue paper, the shell will fly through it. That's not a fact. Because there have been physicists who have fired electrons through sheets of gold foil.
Yeah, I don't want to bore you with the rest of that quote, but let me go ahead and take his little analogy and use it against him. Stodles, we're not talking about probability or what's likely to happen. We are talking about somebody saying somebody's about to fire this artillery shell toward the toilet paper, and then somebody stands up and says, I know 100% that this artillery shell will not go through the toilet paper, or they say, I know 100% it will go through the toilet paper. They don't know, and this is what you're doing. So stop trying to change the subject to something else. You are trying to predict something in the future 100%. You said my grandchildren will be stupid. You said the black-white IQ gap will not change. You can't do that. Stop trying to change the subject to probability and trends and what's likely to happen.
I'll be sure to put some whipped cream on your humble pie.
I realized you were talking to somebody else when you said that, but I think I'll be serving up a humble pie for you. Now, you can put your own special cream on it if you want. Finally, I will close by saying this. Stodles, are you going to answer my questions or not?